Hello, right, I've fitted another SD card and we're at the Volkswagen Transporter, and here we see a Scooby. So it's a Subaru Impreza WRX, I think it is. Let's have a look at what makes it go. I mean really go. Another Scooby over here, STI, so System Technica International. Here's another Scooby. That's another System Technica International. STI in other words. That's what makes it go pretty quickly by what I gather. Here's a Saab. This is a Saab 9.5, I think, this one. And if we try and drift along a bit, there's a Ford Escort Mark II.
You can't beat it old school, can you? They had style, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
That's it. Modern cars now.
There's what made it tick. And now if we just move here, we see a BMW. Trying to think what it is. It's a twin turbo V8 one. Ford Focus Mark II ST. Beginning to get thirsty actually. So, but here's a Honda Civic sitting next to basically a Honda Integra. Looks like an Integra, I think, that one. So I'm going through a series of. There's another Honda Civic. Right, this Mitsubishi. I think it's an Evo, that one. Can never remember these things. Ford Escort Mark V, maybe. Another Honda Civic. Look at the paint job on that engine. That is something. There's a drift car of some kind. Nissan. Probably a 200SX. Looks to be another. I like how they decorate these engines. That's pretty nice actually. That looks. I don't know what that one is. But it has to be turbocharged. That is the engine compressor of our dreams, that one, turbochargers. Right, MGB, the GT MGB Coupe. What is the time now? It's 12:15, so that's a Jaguar XJ12. There's a, oh, which one's that? That's an XK8, that one. Here's a, this is probably an XJR, so I'm going to try and get a view of this. So this is a supercharged V8, this one, so it's an XKR, I think.
Yeah, it is.
XJR, I think that one. Land Rover, maybe a series. Let's have a little look. Series 3, I think. Modern Mini. Next to that is a Volkswagen Golf. Next to that is an Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. So, what engine is in this? It looks like another A series, that one. 1275cc. Right. Try and get a view of this Opel. Right, so that's an Opel. Looks like the equivalent of a Vectra. Might even be a Vectra. I can never remember naming systems for an Opel, because I know that they unified the naming systems at some point. But now we get to a PT Cruiser, so we got one with chrome work on it. Right, just wait for everybody to pass, because I've just noticed another PT Cruiser, and there's Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh sitting on the bonnet, and Winnie the Pooh is dressed up. Another PT Cruiser here. Look how American that looks. Jaguar E-Type Jaguar Series 3. Another Scooby. Mazda MX-5. Well, that's a Unos. Some were known as Unos, some were known as Miatas. Bit of an army coloured Morris Minor here. That is pretty cool actually. I like what they've done. There's a, don't know what that is. There's a A8. No, it's an S6 with the 4.2 V8 in. I'm going to try and go over to another MGB. Another MGB, but they're saying it looks to have been slightly souped up. That looks to have been slightly souped up. Here's a Renault 9. I think that's a Renault 9. Another MGB here in a bronze colour. MGB and MG Bear as well. I must get one. Here's a really big Jag. Try and get a view from this side. Right, here's another Porsche 911. Right, I'm going to go over here now. I'm just going to go over here now. I seem to be having a all over the. That looks like an Austin A4. Is that an A40 pickup? Yes. Right, here's a Ford Mustang next to it. Previous generation to the one they started selling in Britain. Oh, what's this? That is a Cadillac. It's one that's like a smaller. Let's have a look. That's a Fleetwood. Look how much like a sofa that is in there. So this is a Cadillac Fleetwood from 1990. Look how they downsized American cars. Here's a Mark 1 Ford Cortina. Here's a Mark 1 Ford Cortina. It's been slightly souped up. Oh, here we are. Plymouth Duster. And there's a photograph in the windscreen that denotes that this one's been to Santipod. Now I can tell by the fact it says Draper Tools, which is the official. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's been to Santipod. Santipod's a cool place. Here's a Chevrolet Apache. Yeah, so yeah, Chevrolet Apache over here, and next to this is a 3100 Chevrolet Stepside. It's been raised off the ground slightly. Must be for off-roading, I think. Just get a nice view of that. I'm going to try and get some photographs of these later.
Visitors as well, not just cars.
So here's a Buick Special 1956. Try and get another view of this. Yeah, look at that. Right, there's a Ford F250.
cafe.
Yeah, look at that. What's this one? I'm going to have a quick look at this, but it's a... Ah, yes. This is a Buick Wildcat, this one. Sitting next to a Fox Body Mustang from 1982. Right, this looks like a Ford. This is a Ford Fairlane. Yeah, so this is Ford Fairlane. We're all trying to fit this in. This looks like that looks like some sort of Humvee. Doesn't look very practical for the everyday. Here's a Chevrolet Camaro 327. And next to that's a Ford Mustang 302 Coupe. Right, I'm going to have a little look here. Well, if this certainly grabs attention. This is a DeLorean DMC-12. This is the one they made in Northern Ireland, but and featured on a film called Back to the Future. Fire up that flux capacitor for this one. There's a Plymouth Valiant 200 here. Oh, what's this one here? Looks like a 40 Ford with the V8 in. Look at that. Right, so we managed to get the 40 Ford, this one. Another Ford based hot rods. Really huge supercharger on the engine. I'll just let him get his shot because... Oh, no worries. I was just... Oh, you got it. Here's a Ford Popular, or Ford Poplar. Or is it a Popular? Don't know. Obviously been hot rodded at some time. Try and get a view of it. Here's a... Now this is a very late Austin Healey Sprite. It looks a lot more conventional than the other ones. Here's a Porsche 944, I think it is. Ooh, what's this? It's a Renault 17... That says it's a Renault 17 TS Duca Rebel. I don't know. Here's another Ford Fairlane, and if I can make my way up past the ice cream van, I have just spotted a Ford Edsel, or an Edsel. I would like to get this done so I can have a... So this is actually an Edsel. It's like a brand of Ford. Didn't really take off in any way. Right, so I'm just going to walk through this queue so I can go over here. Right, here's a... That looks like a Chevrolet Bel Air. This is the only trouble I'm having at the moment. I'm trying to have a look at all these cars. And we all... I want to get me filming done so I can spend the rest of the day enjoying it. But here's a... This is a Chevrolet Bel Air. I saw this here. Did I see this one yesterday? I'm trying, but I don't know what this is. I don't remember what this is. Looks like a Ford of some kind. I'm just going to wait for the... Yeah, I'm actually... Well, if we wait for, I wish I knew what this was. It looks like a Plymouth. I think it's a Plymouth, and it's been slightly uprated. Slightly uprated. Just going to try and get myself moving. Right, there's a Ford Model B. Again, been slightly uprated. I'm going through the hot rods, aren't I? So here's a Ford pickup, 1940s. What is the time now? It's getting a bit late in the day. But here's it's got a Corvette engine in it, so maybe, what is this? It's a pickup of some kind. Thought it was a Ford, but I think I might be wrong. It is Ford. It is a Ford. And this one's the one with the parachute on. I just remembered that there's some rules about parachutes.
We went to the Festival of Speed at Henning Line yesterday.
Yeah, so this is it's Ford Model A or Model B. It's a hot rod anyway. Here's a Chevrolet stepside. Oh, here's a really good project. This is No Quarter Given. It's got an Edelbrock heads on it on the V8. And it's brilliant. But that project is No Quarter Given, so I might read up on it. Here's an Aston Martin. I think that's a DB something. Don't remember. Whose idea was this? An Aston Martin SUV. No, that's a trend I don't dig. Here's a couple of more Aston Martins. Oh. Right, here's an Aston Martin V8. There we are. I'm wondering what those are. It seems the Aston Martin Owners Club are here. Right, if I make my way, let's have a little look at these. Right, so the red one's a DB7, this one's a DB9, so they're not that recent. If we move around here, we now see another Aston Martin. Which one's this one? Another Aston Martin V8. Here we see another Aston Martin here, which is another V8 Volante, and to my left is a DB5, no, DB4. This is DB4 actually. Now, getting back to America in spirit, here's a Mustang GT 289 cubic inch, and here's a Chevrolet Camaro SS. Here's another SS actually, Chevrolet Camaro. Right, here's a couple of Ford Mustang 5.0s. One's an ordinary 5.0. This one is a 5.0 GT350 actually. Looks like a previous generation to the one that they started selling in Britain. So there's the generation started selling in Britain. This one isn't. But this is a GT350. So looks Ford Model A perhaps. It's one of these hot rods. Right, here's That looks like a Lincoln Mercury actually. I'm just going to move over here because I've just spotted something very unusual. Let's see if I can get a view of this. This looks like a Facel Vega. Yeah, that looks like a Facel Vega. We get a view of that. Yeah, we've got it. Got it. Yeah, we got it. That is actually an HK 500.
Yeah, I've seen that over there. Yeah.
So it had a 383 cubic inch American built V8. So I think Chrysler. Oh, I nearly got it signed. Because I just spotted something really interesting as well. This looks like an Aston Martin DB, probably a 2.4. I don't know. So I didn't really get not really getting a good view of this. Because everybody else seems to want to see this one. But I think this might be a DB24. I'm not sure. Someone must know. Yeah, I'll try and remember as much about cars as I can, but I can never remember it all. Yep. Here's a Chevrolet Corvette. That must be a C6 perhaps. So it's quite a late-ish sort of generation. I see Flat Eric is driving this, so you can see in the passenger seat, passenger seat. C6 Euro spec. Here's a C3 Stingray with a 454 in it. Been painted up in a nice fetching shiny sort of metal flaked red. Right, just gonna yeah, so this is a Chevrolet Corvette C3 Stingray. I think 1976 that one. I'm going to move on a bit now because here's what looks like a C2, but it doesn't have the split rear screen on it. Doesn't say if it's a Stingray or not. But there's a C3 Stingray drop top here. Right, here's another C3 Stingray. This time it's another 1976 one. Looks like a shark nose. Let's say you can tell it's a C3 is because it's got a shark nose on it. This one's a, what the hell is it? It says it's a 400 Magnum on it, so what is this? So it's 1972 or 73, yeah, it's a 1972 Charger with the 400 Magnum on it. Right, this is it's an Alfa Romeo. This one's a Montreal, I think, this one. Yeah, Alfa Romeo Montreal 1972. Look at that. Right, this is a Mustang GT 289 high performance cabriolet. Next to that is it's a Chevrolet. It's a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. It's probably a 4.6 V8, three on the tree gear change when it come out. Goodness knows what this probably has. Here's another Vauxhall Cresta. Notice, and I've said this before, here's Vauxhall Cresta. Look around to here. Straight out of the Detroit design book there, and very good for it. There's a Dodge Challenger RT just over there. And if we swing back round here, we see a Rover P6 3.5 litre, so 3,500, but not the S. Here's a Ford Mustang, doesn't say which one. This one's a 289 car, so Ford Mustang drop top. Let's have a look at this. Here's a Jaguar S-Type, I think, or is it probably an S-Type? Oh, what's this? Let's have a look what this is. Let me just get clued up here. That's actually a Mercury Cougar. That one. Engine looks to have been nice looking engine, that, love it. And another Mustang drop top. Again, it's a 289 car. Next to that's another 289, another couple of Mustangs. So this is a 289 Mustang Coupe. And next to that, it's a Mustang 302. So 1969. Right, and now we see a DeSoto Firefly. Now I've seen this one before a couple of times at least, but you know, look at that. Right, I'm going to try and get a I'm just going to have another look at this. DeSoto, that was a brand of Chryslers, and they were the first to have the Chrysler Hemi, which was known as the Fire Dome. When it was a DeSoto, it's called the Fire Dome. And now we focus around here, we see a 427 Cobra. And this is the reason in here that you don't really drive it, you have to tame it. There we are. Right, now we move on, we see a Gen 2 Camaro with a Blueprint V8 in it, with Blueprint engines V8, so it says Blueprint in there. I've heard of them. Right, let little sod get out of the way. It just says it's an SS, it says it's a Chevrolet, it's a drop top. I must admit I'm SSR actually. Not really into it. Here's another Mustang here. If I just get myself round everyone. So here's a Ford Mustang Mach 1 with 351 Cleveland. And to my right is another Chevrolet Corvette C3 Stingray. Awful lot of C3s actually, they must have been pretty popular. Right, mustn't hang around too long, but oh, there's a right, I'm going to try and get round everyone, because here we see a Model T T-Bucket. Well, this is a Tennessee J23 T-Bucket. It used to be a popular thing to do in America. You get a Ford Model T type body, lower the absolute bejesus out of it, stick a Chevy engine in it, and you've built yourself a hot rod. Well done. Right, now I'm going to focus in on the engine because it looks balmy. I think that